Alright everyone, welcome back. I hope you're all having an amazing weekend. Happy Sunday everybody. There's a lot of things happening between the Disney executives, the Disney board members, Bob Iger, the CEO, and all things, of course, John and Dave, to really course correct the Star Wars franchise, especially with the Ahsoka Tano series, which, by the way, is best described as the home run on Disney+. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, given that we have a lot of things going on between the Ahsoka Tano series Season 1 and 2, by the way, that's currently being crafted by Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, but we also have a lot of things going on with other creators hopping on board over at Lucasfilm. Now, the thing about Gina Carano, alright, it's been well over 2 years now since her firing, since she was laid off in the worst way possible by Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy through social media. It's been quite a crazy ride to see, where we stand today with the fandom still being divided as of this moment because of Kathleen Kennedy's choices, not just with Gina, but also with, of course, some of the shows out there like Kenobi and Boba Fett, you name it. However, what's even all the more intriguing is exactly what Daisy Ridley recently had to say involving Gina Carano, and specifically as well as Jon Favreau, that's going to come across as a very big surprise. And I think that this just goes to show you more about Kathleen Kennedy's true colors toward Gina Carano, that a lot of the problems actually came before her time with The Mandalorian, and a lot more than that reveals it was something more so personal related. So anyways, moving on to the next thing. Now, given that with actress Daisy Ridley, of course, still in the talks with John and Dave about the future of Star Wars on Disney Plus and becoming part of the post-Episode 9 series, which she has already agreed to, she is also in the talks to make cameos in other projects as well. Now, in a recent interview that Daisy Ridley provided, she went on to reveal something very big involving actress Gina Carano. This is what Daisy had to inform the fans on. When I was beginning to train for Episode 9, they were looking for many different co-writers, one of which was Jon Favreau, who wanted to become a part of the final film to work with JJ. He almost got accepted, he was this close, but that's not the point. My point is that Gina's problems with Lucasfilm came before when she was even involved in The Mandalorian. Remember, there was a time when Favreau presented the idea for 9 to showcase a full-on war between 3 factions. It was just an idea of his for one of the space battles, and that he wanted Gina Carano in as one of the fierce pilots, apart from the Sith Empire, to fight against the First Order. Kathy instantly wanted nothing to do with Gina Carano when she heard her name, for some odd reason I do not know why. John even pitched the idea of bringing in actor Jason Statham as one of the bounty hunters trying to find Rey as instructed by Kylo Ren. Now let me just pause here quickly for 1 second. So, I don't know if you guys knew this, but this part is true that John did almost get the job as a co-writer for Episode 9. That's how he ultimately was able to use his contacts, later on to become a part of The Mandalorian. By the way, this is when the script was being put together for 9, so we're talking like, 2018, give or take, like the beginning of that year, when they were setting everything up and getting ready to film and, really get things rolling. They were revising the script and doing a lot of different things with JJ at the time. So, what's interesting about this, though, is that Daisy unveils that he had Gina in the cards, even for his ideas for Episode 9, and even at that point in time, Kathleen Kennedy shot down Gina's chance of even becoming a part of that, and wanted nothing to do with her. So, this has a lot to do with everything. This means that it wasn't just because of what Gina was writing on social media. There seems to have been some kind of personal connection that they had a problem with her. For some odd reason, I don't know why, like she said, but it really does raise a question. Then why did Gina get hired in the first place for Mando Season 1 and 2? Well, a lot of it had to do with Favreau putting his foot down and giving them an ultimatum that he would only accept this job as a writer of the first Star Wars TV show if it was his vision. if it respected George's vision and what he wanted to tell. So Lucasfilm kind of abided by his orders or his demands, whatever have you. But I digress. On to the next thing here that's even all the more important, that kind of unveils more about the whole scenario. Alright, so anyways, on top of that, Daisy unveils these were a part of John's notes where he was close to getting the job over Chris Terrio at the time. Kathy said no way to both choices. I was shocked because I thought that they would have had great additions to it in 9. Who wouldn't want a fierce pilot or a frightening bounty hunter chasing me down? I thought it would have been fun to also see the Resistance teaming up with the First Order to take down the Sith Empire. John had this idea of 9 being about the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and I saw this as a great original storytelling piece in the sequels. But Kathy felt it was going to mess things up. She wanted nothing to do with Gina or Jason or John's ideas of this movie. Let me just say one thing right here, right now, is that I think that John had fantastic ideas, and in fact, I think that Gina's role in Episode 9 could have very well been even better. Gina can play a villain. I don't know if you guys saw her in Fast and Furious 6, but she can play a villain pretty well, where she can play like a two-faced character, where she appears as a hero, but she's really a villain on the other end of things here. So the other idea that John had was making Jason Statham a bounty hunter, and that to me is very, very creative. I think that if you look at Jason, he absolutely has that terrifying look of a bounty hunter with the right, makeup that they could have provided, the right acting style. He would have most certainly picked it up, and just coming to think about it right now, I know it's not in the same exact era, but he would have played a perfect Dengar, in my opinion. But that's just me, just thinking about that right now. Anyways, I like the idea that John had. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, making it the core theme of Episode 9, where you have 3 different factions fighting each other, where the Resistance was going to team up with the First Order, and to take down the Sith Empire that Palpatine was running. That to me sounds more original than what we got in Episode 9, where you have the First Order really kind of stripped from its resources and using the Sith Empire to gain its resources. And so then you have these combined forces going up against the Resistance. I think that, the previous idea that John had would have been more original and better and kind of changing the rules a little bit. I think that would have been more fun. Anyways, Daisy really putting it out there that there was some kind of issues between Gina and Kennedy that really preceded the whole situation with The Mandalorian Season 2 when Gina was fired at the tail end of production. So anyways, guys, I would really love to hear what each and every one of you have to say about the whole scenario involving John's potential involvement at the time of Episode 9 that never came out to be. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon.